You stand at the edge of your own potential, yet often it is not the world that limits you, but the quiet whispers within. These whispers are not truths, but shadows cast by fear, doubt, and the false comfort of the familiar. We are all prisoners of our own minds, shackled by beliefs we've inherited or created in moments of weakness. But I ask you, what is the nature of belief? Is it not a fragile thing, shaped by experience and thought, but not the very essence of who you are? To grow, to transcend, is to acknowledge that the walls you perceive are no more real than the air you breathe. It is time to free yourself, to stand tall in the face of your own greatness and discard the false limits you have placed upon your own life. Expand and let the world unfold its endless possibilities before you. The chains of self-doubt. How many times have you found yourself staring at the precipice of your dreams, only to retreat because of an invisible force that pulls you back? It is not the world that holds you captive, but your own mind, your self-doubt. This silent thief creeps in when you least expect it, stealing the very courage you need to take the first step toward your true potential. It whispers, "You're not enough. You can't do this. This is too big for you." And you, like so many others, listen. But I ask you, who told you these lies? The world does not create your limitations, you do. The limitations you believe in are born in the depths of your own thoughts, nurtured by past failures and repeated by the voice of fear. You were not born with doubt in your heart, but with boundless potential, a spark that only needed to be nurtured. Yet, over time, that spark has been dimmed by the weight of your own fears, by the beliefs that have taken root in your mind. But who are you really? Are you the doubts that have been whispered to you, or are you something far more powerful? Self-doubt is not truth, it is the enemy of progress. It is the thing that holds you back from your highest self, the thing that paralyzes you when you should be moving forward. But the beauty of this realization lies in the fact that it is not a permanent state. The chains of self-doubt are not made of steel. They are made of the lies you tell yourself. And the moment you decide to challenge those lies, they lose their power over you. To destroy these chains, you must first acknowledge their presence. Recognize that they are not a part of you, but a distortion of the truth. The truth is that you are capable of far more than you allow yourself to believe. Your potential is not bound by the limits you place upon it. You are not defined by your past mistakes, nor by the doubts that creep in when you face something unfamiliar. You are defined by the strength within you, the strength to rise, to fail, to learn, and to grow. And so I urge you to confront your self-doubt not with resistance, but with understanding. Look it in the eyes and ask yourself, why do I fear this? What is the worst that can happen if you fail? What is the cost of not trying? When you strip away the fear, you find the truth. Failure is not your enemy. The true enemy is never taking the chance to grow, to reach for something greater. In that space between action and inaction, you find your true power. The first lesson is simple yet profound. You are not defined by your doubts. You are defined by your willingness to challenge them. When you step into the unknown, when you act despite the fear, you break the chains that have held you captive. You free yourself, and in that freedom you find the courage to rise higher than you ever thought possible. Recognizing the invisible walls. There are walls you see, and there are walls you don't. The walls you see are tangible, physical, the barriers of your environment, the limits imposed by the world around you. These walls can be climbed, broken, or walked around, but the invisible walls, the ones that live in your mind, are far more insidious. These walls are built of assumptions, fears, and doubts, things that were never truly there but which you have come to believe as solid and unyielding. They are the constructs of your own mind, the beliefs you have built over time about what you can or cannot do. And so you find yourself trapped, not by circumstances, but by the very limitations you have created for yourself. You tell yourself, "I can't," or "this is too difficult," and in those moments you build a wall higher than any obstacle in the physical world. What is a wall, after all, but a collection of thoughts reinforced by repetition? Every time you convince yourself that something is out of reach, you add another brick. Each time you hesitate because of fear or doubt, you make the wall stronger. But here is the truth. These walls are not real. They only exist as long as you allow them to. The first step in overcoming these invisible walls is recognizing that they are there. You must learn to look beyond what you see and examine what you believe. What is it that is truly stopping you? Is it the fear of failure, the discomfort of stepping into the unknown, or the belief that you are not worthy of success? These are the walls that you must confront, for they are the ones that are truly limiting you. And once you see them for what they are, mere illusions of your own making, they lose their power. Ask yourself, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What would I attempt if I truly believed that there was nothing standing in my way? The moment you ask these questions, you begin to dismantle those walls. You begin to see that the barriers to your success are not made of stone or iron, but of fear and self-doubt. And fear, as powerful as it may seem, is nothing more than a shadow that disappears when you face it with courage. The second lesson is this: the walls you face are not insurmountable. They are the product of your beliefs, and as such, they can be undone. To break through them, you must first recognize them for what they are, the figments of your own mind. You must challenge the assumptions that limit you and redefine what is possible. Once you do, you will find that the path forward is not obstructed by walls at all. The road is clear, and all that remains is your willingness to walk it. The power of our inner dialogue. Every action you take, every decision you make, is shaped by the conversation you have with yourself. This inner dialogue, whether conscious or not, is the lens through which you view the world, and it holds the power to either elevate or diminish you. It whispers in your ear when you wake, and it follows you into the quietest moments of your life. It is the voice of encouragement or the voice of doubt. It speaks of possibility, or it speaks of limitation. And, too often, we do not question the words it speaks. If you seek to break free from the chains of limiting beliefs, you must first understand the nature of this dialogue. What is it telling you? What words are you allowing to take root in your mind? Words, after all, have power far beyond what we give them credit for. The words we speak to ourselves shape our reality, for they are the seeds from which our actions grow. If you tell yourself you cannot succeed, if you speak of your failures and your shortcomings as truths, then those words become self-fulfilling prophecies. You will act in accordance with the limitations they impose. But here is the truth: you have the power to change this dialogue. You have the ability to rewrite the script that governs your life. The key is not in trying to silence the voice of doubt, but in replacing it with a voice of strength, of possibility, of hope. When the inner dialogue says, "You can't," you must respond with, "I can." When it says, "You are not enough," you must say, "I am becoming more than I ever imagined." The more you speak these truths to yourself, the more you will begin to believe them. And as you believe, you will act in alignment with that belief. You will begin to break the barriers you once thought were unbreakable. The power of your inner dialogue is vast, and it can be a force for either destruction or creation. The words you speak to yourself shape your future. When you tell yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are resilient, those words begin to take root in your mind, and they transform your actions. Every step you take, no matter how small, is infused with the belief that you are worthy of success, and that belief propels you forward. But this transformation requires awareness. You must become conscious of the words you use with yourself. Challenge the voice of doubt whenever it speaks. Replace it with the words that reflect your true potential. You are not a prisoner of your circumstances, nor are you a victim of your past. You are a creator, a force of will, capable of rewriting the story of your life. The dialogue you hold with yourself is not a passive one. It is the most active conversation you will ever have, and it is the conversation that will determine the course of your future. The third lesson is clear. If you wish to destroy your limiting beliefs, you must first transform your inner dialogue. Speak words of power, of possibility, of growth. With each positive thought, with each empowering affirmation, you chip away at the walls you have built. And as you do, you will begin to see a new path emerge. A path that was always there, waiting for you to find it. Beyond comfort, where growth begins. The human soul longs for comfort, for safety, for the familiar. It seeks a refuge from the storms of uncertainty, a place where the world does not challenge it, a place where the path is already laid out, where decisions are easy and where risks are unnecessary. This is where most people settle, existing in a state of comfortable stagnation, never daring to venture beyond what they know. But the truth, my friend, is that growth does not exist within the walls of comfort. It exists in the spaces where fear and uncertainty dwell, in the places that challenge you to stretch beyond what you thought was possible. But the moment you choose to step into discomfort, you begin to shatter those boundaries. You challenge yourself to grow, to expand, to become more than you were the day before. This discomfort, as unpleasant as it may seem, is the very thing that propels you forward. It is the forge in which your character is tested and strengthened. Growth is not a linear path, nor is it a smooth one. It is a journey fraught with obstacles, with moments of fear, with feelings of inadequacy. But it is precisely these moments that build you. When you step into the unknown, you create space for your true self to emerge. You push the boundaries of what you thought was possible. You realize that you are capable of achieving things that once seemed far beyond your reach. The key, then, is not to avoid discomfort, but to embrace it. Every time you feel fear creeping in, see it not as a sign to retreat, but as an invitation to move forward. Every time you feel the weight of uncertainty, recognize it as a sign that you are on the right path, the path of growth. It is in the struggle that you find your strength, in the challenge that you discover your power. The fourth lesson is simple yet profound. Growth does not come from staying comfortable. It comes from pushing beyond what you know, from stepping into the spaces that make you uncomfortable. It is in these moments of uncertainty that you will find the strength to rise higher than you ever thought possible. And when you emerge from these trials, you will find that you are not the person you were when you entered. You are something greater, stronger, wiser, and ready to take on whatever comes next. Embrace the unknown with courage. There is no greater force in the human experience than the fear of the unknown. It is a primal fear, one that runs deep in our instincts, for it speaks to our survival. We are creatures who crave predictability, who find solace in what we can understand and control. The unknown, however, is unpredictable, uncertain, and therefore terrifying. It holds the power to challenge everything we know about ourselves, to question the very foundations upon which we've built our lives. And yet it is this unknown, this vast, uncharted expanse, that holds the key to our greatest potential. To embrace the unknown requires not just bravery, but wisdom. Wisdom to understand that nothing in life is truly certain, and that it is precisely the uncertainty that makes life worth living. Every great achievement, every moment of growth has come not from a place of certainty, but from a leap into the unknown. To step into the unknown is to step into possibility, to allow yourself to venture beyond the limits of what you thought was possible. It is in these moments that you come face to face with your truest self, the person you are meant to become. Fear of the unknown will always be present. It is not something that can be eliminated, but it is something you can learn to manage, to move through with courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. It is the knowledge that the unknown does not have to be a threat, but an opportunity, a chance to discover more about yourself and the world around you. The fear you feel when you face the unknown is not a signal to turn back, but a signal to push forward, to trust that you are capable of navigating the uncertainties of life. The unknown is not something to be avoided, it is something to be embraced. Every time you choose to step into the unknown, you strengthen your courage, you stretch beyond your current limits, and you expand your understanding of what is possible. There is no growth in the comfort zone, no evolution in the predictable. It is in the unknown that you find the space to grow, to explore, to transform. And so I urge you to approach the unknown not with fear, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, what could I discover if I allowed myself to step into this? Instead of seeing the unknown as a threat, see it as an invitation to grow, to evolve, to become the person you are meant to be. The road ahead may be uncertain, but it is only through that uncertainty that you will ever uncover the greatness that lies within you. The fifth lesson is this: the unknown is not something to be feared, it is something to be embraced. Step into it with courage, for it is in the vastness of uncertainty that you will discover the depth of your own potential. Trust that you are more than capable of navigating the unknown, and that each step you take, no matter how uncertain, will bring you closer to the person you are destined to become. The illusion of limitations. What is a limitation but a belief, an assumption that something cannot be done because it has not been done before? How often do we look at the world and see only the things that are impossible, the obstacles that stand in our way, and the reasons why we cannot achieve the things we desire? We look at our circumstances, our resources, our own perceived weaknesses, and we declare them to be our limitations. But what if these limitations were nothing more than illusions, mere shadows cast by fear and doubt? What if, instead of holding us back, these challenges were simply stepping stones to the greatness that lies beyond? The truth is, limitations are rarely as real as we believe them to be. They are often self-imposed, products of our own thinking. We look at the world and see only what is in front of us, but we fail to see the vast potential that exists beyond our narrow view. We believe that we are bound by our current circumstances, our past mistakes, or our fears, and so we allow those beliefs to limit our actions. But the reality is far different. You are not bound by your past, your circumstances, or even your own fears. You are bound only by the limitations you place on yourself. Every great achievement in history has come from someone who saw beyond the apparent limits of their time. They saw possibilities where others saw impossibilities. They understood that true greatness is not born from comfort, but from the willingness to break through the walls that others accept as unbreakable. And so the question becomes, why do you accept limitations as truth? Why do you allow the walls of fear, doubt, and self-imposed belief to shape your action? The illusion of limitations is the greatest obstacle to your success. It convinces you that you cannot reach beyond where you are, that the dreams you have are too far out of reach. But this is the lie that holds you back. In truth, you are only limited by the boundaries you set for yourself. The moment you decide to challenge these boundaries, you begin to see that there are no limits but those you have accepted. When you reject the notion of limitation, you open yourself up to the endless possibilities of growth, of achievement, of transformation. The sixth lesson is this: limitations are illusions. They are not truths. They are simply the stories you tell yourself. When you stop accepting the false boundaries that have been placed before you, when you decide to see beyond what others say is possible, you break free from the constraints that hold you back. You open yourself up to the infinite potential that exists within you, and you begin to shape your reality, not by what you cannot do, but by what you choose to believe is possible. It is only when you cast aside the illusion of limitations that you will see the vast, open field of opportunity that lies before you. And in that field, you will discover that nothing is truly impossible. Rewriting your story, a new narrative. We are all writers of our own stories. Every thought, every decision, every action we take adds another line to the pages of our lives. Yet, how often do we allow the past to define our present and future? How often do we let the mistakes, the failures, and the limitations of yesterday dictate who we are today? We hold on to old narratives, repeating them in our minds like a broken record, believing that our past defines our worth, our abilities, our potential. But the truth is that the past is not who you are. It is simply a story, one that you can choose to rewrite. The stories we tell ourselves are powerful. They shape our identities, influence our behaviors, and determine our actions. But these stories are not set in stone. They are not immutable truths. You have the power to change your narrative, to shift the direction of your life, and to redefine who you are and what you are capable of. The story of your life is not written by your past. It is written by your present choices and the beliefs you hold about yourself. If you continue to tell yourself that you are defined by your failures, by your limitations, or by the things that went wrong in your past, you will continue to live in the shadows of those old stories. But the moment you choose to rewrite that narrative, to see yourself as capable, worthy, and powerful, you begin to create a new reality. You become the hero of your own story, taking control of the plot and directing it where you choose. This is the beauty of rewriting your story. You are not bound by what has happened before. The past does not dictate who you must be. Every moment is a new beginning, a fresh opportunity to craft the life you want. The key is in the decision to let go of the old limiting beliefs and to embrace a new narrative, one in which you are not defined by mistakes, but by your resilience, your courage, and your capacity for growth. The most powerful tool you have in rewriting your story is your belief in your own potential. When you believe that you can change, that you can grow, that you can overcome, you begin to act in alignment with those beliefs. Your story shifts from one of limitation to one of possibility. The narrative of your life becomes a story of triumph, of courage, of resilience. And in that new story, you are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the author of your own destiny. The seventh lesson is this: you have the power to rewrite your story at any moment. You are not defined by your past, your failures, or the beliefs that have held you back. You are defined by your ability to choose who you become in this very moment. When you rewrite your story, you step into a new reality, one where anything is possible and where the limits you once believed in no longer exist. Take the pen in your hand and begin to write a new narrative, one that reflects the greatness you are capable of, the strength in patience. In a world that demands instant results, constant movement, and rapid progress, patience has become a forgotten virtue. We are conditioned to expect things to happen quickly, to see immediate returns for our efforts, and to never wait for what we want. Yet, patience is not a sign of weakness or indecision. It is the quiet strength that allows growth to unfold in its own time. It is the steady, unwavering belief that every step taken, no matter how slow, is leading you closer to your goal. The journey to personal transformation, to breaking through limiting beliefs and expanding your horizons, does not happen overnight. It is a long road filled with setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But it is in the practice of patience that you find the resilience to keep going, even when the rewards are not immediately visible. You learn to trust the process, to understand that true growth takes time, and that each small step forward is a victory in itself. Patience teaches you that success is not always measured by how quickly you achieve your goals, but by your ability to endure the obstacles and setbacks along the way. It teaches you to appreciate the process, the struggles, the lessons, the failures, as much as the outcome. For it is in these moments of hardship that you find the true strength of your character. When you are patient, you are not passively waiting for something to happen. You are actively building the foundation for something greater, understanding that the best things in life are not rushed, but earned. In times of frustration, when you feel like you are not moving fast enough or making enough progress, remember that patience is a powerful force. It is the ability to persist without becoming discouraged by temporary setbacks. It is the recognition that every delay, every difficulty is part of the journey, and that growth is happening even when you cannot see it. The moment you surrender to patience, you release the pressure to control the outcome, and you allow life to unfold in its own time. Patience is not just about waiting. It is about understanding that the path you are on is unfolding exactly as it should. Every step, no matter how small, is leading you closer to your ultimate destination. You are not rushing to get there. You are moving steadily, growing stronger with each passing day. And in the end, when you look back at how far you've come, you will realize that it was not the speed of your progress that mattered, but the depth of your journey. The eighth lesson is this: patience is a form of strength, not weakness. It is the quiet perseverance that allows you to weather the storms of life and emerge stronger on the other side. Embrace patience, for it is in the steady, consistent pursuit of your goals that true transformation occurs. When you trust the process, when you remain patient with yourself and the world around you, you will find that the rewards you seek are not just the result of hard work, but the result of a deeper, more resilient understanding of time and growth. The power of acceptance. We live in a world that is constantly shifting, changing, and presenting new challenges. We are often confronted by circumstances that are beyond our control, unexpected losses, setbacks, or disappointments that seem to stand in our way. In these moments, it's easy to resist, to fight against what is, to wish things were different, and to hold on to the hope that somehow we can change the situation with enough effort or willpower. Yet, the power to transform our lives does not lie in our ability to change everything around us, but in our ability to accept things as they are, without judgment or resistance. Acceptance is not about surrendering to passivity or giving up. It is about recognizing the present moment for what it is, without denying its reality. It is understanding that not everything in life will go according to plan, and that there is power in surrendering to the flow of life. When we resist what is, when we fight against the inevitable, we only create more suffering for ourselves. We trap ourselves in a cycle of frustration, wishing for things to be different, rather than allowing ourselves to embrace the present as it is. True acceptance requires a profound shift in mindset. It is about letting go of the need to control every outcome and instead finding peace in the uncertainty. It is about relinquishing the idea that you can control every aspect of your life and instead focusing on how you respond to what happens. In every circumstance, there is a choice. You can either resist or you can accept. And it is in the act of acceptance that you find freedom. When you accept what is, you stop fighting against yourself and the world. You stop wasting energy on things beyond your control and begin to focus on what you can change: your attitude, your perspective, and your actions. Acceptance is not resignation. It is liberation. It is the realization that you do not need everything to be perfect in order to find peace. You do not need to have all the answers, nor do you need to control the outcomes. You simply need to accept that life will unfold as it will, and your power lies in how you choose to move with it. When you embrace acceptance, you free yourself from the weight of resistance. You stop carrying the burden of unrealistic expectations and allow yourself to be present with what is. You begin to trust that even the most difficult moments are part of your growth, that every challenge holds a lesson, and that even in the midst of struggle, you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The ninth lesson is this: acceptance is not weakness, it is power. It is the power to let go of what you cannot change and to focus on what you can. It is the strength to face each moment as it comes, without resistance, and to trust that the journey you are on is unfolding exactly as it should. When you accept life as it is, you find peace in the chaos, strength in the struggle, and freedom in the present moment. The art of detachment. In a world where we are constantly told to cling to our desires, our possessions, our relationships, and our outcomes, detachment may seem like an impossible concept. How can we let go of what we hold most dear? How can we disconnect from the very things that define us, the things we believe are essential to our happiness and success? The truth is, detachment is not about rejecting life or distancing ourselves from what matters. It is about finding peace in the understanding that our true well-being does not rely on anything external. Detachment is the ability to release our attachment to outcomes, to let go of our need for validation, approval, or control over the things we cannot change. It is not indifference, nor is it a callous disregard for what we care about. It is the recognition that our happiness and peace come from within, not from the things or people we depend on. It is the freedom to live fully without clinging to the fleeting, external circumstances that may come and go. Think of it as holding a beautiful, fragile flower. The moment you grip it too tightly, you crush it. The beauty of the flower lies not in your grasping, but in your gentle, open-handed appreciation. You can admire it, enjoy its fragrance, but you understand that it is not yours to control. You do not force it to remain forever. You accept that it is transient, like all things in life. When you practice detachment, you embrace the beauty of life's impermanence. You stop clinging to the illusion of permanence and start to live fully in the present moment, savoring it without the need to possess it or control it. In the same way, detachment allows you to experience life without being emotionally enslaved by it. It enables you to enjoy success without becoming consumed by it, to love without dependency, to pursue your goals without attaching your worth to the outcome. The things you care about will still matter, but your sense of self will no longer be defined by them. You will find strength in knowing that no external thing can complete or define you. When you detach from outcomes, you are no longer enslaved by fear or anxiety about what may or may not happen. You are free to take risks, to act with purpose, to pursue your passions without the constant weight of expectation. You are free to let go of the things that drain your energy or hold you back, and in doing so, you open space for new opportunities, new connections, and new experiences. Detachment is not about letting go of everything. It is about letting go of the need to control everything. The 10th lesson is this: detachment is the key to true freedom. It is not about withdrawing from life or becoming indifferent. It is about releasing the need to control, the need to cling, and the need to define yourself by external circumstances. When you practice detachment, you embrace life as it comes, without fear of loss, without attachment to outcomes, and with full acceptance of the impermanence of all things. You live more fully, love more deeply, and experience life with a sense of peace that cannot be shaken by the winds of change. The strength in vulnerability. In a world that often values strength as an unyielding facade, vulnerability is seen as weakness, as something to be avoided. We are taught to hide our fears, suppress our emotions, and present a flawless exterior to the world. But true strength does not lie in the absence of vulnerability. It lies in the willingness to embrace it, to stand in the truth of who we are, even in the face of discomfort. Vulnerability is not a flaw. It is the birthplace of connection, growth, and authenticity. To be vulnerable is to allow yourself to be seen for who you truly are, without the masks and armor that you wear to protect yourself from judgment or rejection. It is the courage to show up as your authentic self, without pretending to be something you are not. And while this may feel frightening, it is in these moments of vulnerability that we find our deepest strength. For when we are willing to show our raw, unguarded selves, we open the door to profound personal transformation. Vulnerability is the foundation of all meaningful connections. It is when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with others that we create the space for trust, empathy, and understanding to flourish. We are all human, and we all carry our own struggles, fears, and insecurities. To share these aspects of ourselves with others is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of courage, a willingness to be open, to share, and to connect on a deeper level. Through vulnerability, we build bridges between hearts, allowing the richness of our shared experiences to strengthen our bonds. In our pursuit of growth and freedom, vulnerability is also essential. It is only by allowing ourselves to feel deeply, whether that be joy, sorrow, fear, or love, that we truly experience the full spectrum of life. When we close ourselves off from vulnerability, we close ourselves off from living. True growth comes from stepping into discomfort, embracing our imperfections, and trusting that even in moments of vulnerability, we are still whole, still worthy, and still powerful. To be vulnerable does not mean to be weak or defenseless. On the contrary, it takes immense strength to expose your inner world, to stand in the face of fear, and to continue to move forward despite the discomfort that comes with it. Vulnerability is the foundation of self-acceptance and self-love. It is the willingness to honor your own humanity, to acknowledge your flaws and weaknesses, and to love yourself not despite them. The 11th lesson is this: vulnerability is not a weakness, but a powerful source of strength. It is the courage to be authentic, to share your true self, and to experience life with an open heart. When you embrace vulnerability, you open yourself to connection, to growth, and to a life lived more fully. You allow yourself to be both strong and tender, powerful and open, and in doing so, you discover the true power that lies within your own humanity. Embrace your vulnerability, for it is through it that you will find your deepest strength and create the most meaningful experiences of your life. The power of self-discipline. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, the idea of self-discipline often feels outdated, even burdensome. We are conditioned to seek the quickest path to pleasure, to avoid discomfort at all costs, and to live in the moment without considering the long-term consequences of our actions. Yet, true freedom lies not in indulgence, but in self-discipline. The ability to delay gratification, to make choices that align with our values, and to consistently take actions that move us toward our highest potential. Self-discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the foundation upon which success is built. It requires the courage to say no to fleeting desires, in favor of pursuing goals that require sustained effort and sacrifice. It is the ability to resist the temptation of the easy path, the quick fix, and the path of least resistance in order to walk the harder, more rewarding road of long-term growth. In every moment, you are faced with a choice. Will you choose the comfort of the present, or the promise of future success? Will you succumb to the distractions that pull you away from your goals, or will you remain focused, committed, and disciplined in your pursuit of greatness? Self-discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistent effort, choosing to take small, deliberate actions every day, even when the results are not immediately apparent. It is about showing up, even when you don't feel like it, and doing the work that will eventually lead to the transformation you seek. The beauty of self-discipline is that it creates momentum. Each small act of discipline builds upon the last, creating a compounding effect that leads to exponential growth. When you choose discipline over indulgence, you begin to build habits that align with your highest self. You stop being at the mercy of your impulses and start becoming the master of your own actions. Over time, the discipline you practice today will bear fruit in ways you can't yet imagine. But self-discipline is not just about achieving external success. It is also about developing inner strength and resilience. The more you discipline yourself, the more you discover your own capacity for growth. You realize that you are capable of far more than you once believed. You begin to understand that the power to shape your life, to overcome obstacles, and to create the future you desire lies within your ability to discipline your mind, your actions, and your choices. The 12th lesson is this: self-discipline is the key to unlocking your full potential. It is not a limitation but a tool for freedom, a way to break free from the chains of instant gratification and to create the life you desire. Self-discipline is not about denial but about making the conscious choice to prioritize what truly matters and to take consistent action toward your goals. The path to success, to fulfillment, to transformation is paved with small, disciplined steps. The power to change your life lies in your ability to commit to those steps day by day and to remain steadfast even when the journey is difficult. Embrace self-discipline, for it is through disciplined action that you will build the life you've always dreamed of.